You heard that, right? Okay. How we know it's really working. So, good morning. We are going to work a little bit with some of the stuff that I've been learning to kind of reinforce my memory, sort of. And today we're going to work on foundation. So, foundation means a lot of things. One is connection to the earth. One is basically our sense of safety. If you make it like the chakras, it's your sense of safety, the basics that you need. That's also your foundation. And then your foundation is literally where you are meeting the ground. So right now, whatever seat you're in, notice where your foundation is right now. So probably sit bones, maybe ankles, and then notice the difference in the weight, the amount of weight on each section of the body. So we have more, well, for me, I'm heavier on the hips. For you, you might be heavier on one hip than the other. And also, and then the next part is kind of secondary. If you add your hands to it, we add even more. We take a little bit off the sit bone and we put a little more pressure into the base of the hands, the palms of the hands. And so just notice where your foundation is right now. And we're going to come back to it during class to just kind of see how it changes, where we go from one to the other. But we always have a foundation, whatever it is, even if it's not symmetrical like it is right now. Let's just begin to relax the shoulders a little bit, come back onto your sit bones. We're going to move the feet so that they're in front of us and they're lengthwise, legs are lengthwise with a bend in the knee. And we're moving our foundation once again, this time to the sit bones, but a little bit more forward and onto the feet as well. And you can come to a gentle forward fold and just start to open the back a little bit. And just notice where you are supporting yourself on the earth. We'll bring our hands behind us, palms face away or towards the tip of the front of the mat, whichever you prefer. So either away with fingertips towards the back or here with fingertips towards the front. Lean back a little bit. Notice how that foundation moves. Press a little bit into the feet and a little bit into the hands. You don't have to lift all the way up, but you can if you want to. And just notice now how your foundation has changed, your soles of your feet and your hands supporting you. Still nice and centered in that foundation, still nice and balanced. Have a seat once again onto the sit bones. Roll yourself forward. And this time bring the soles of the feet together and gently let the knees drop out. We're not going for an intense stretch, we're just coming to a stretch for the back. Let the head be heavy down towards the feet. And as you sway the upper body a little bit left and right, which is a little bit of a twist, notice how your foundation changes from one side to the other, but still nice and strong and firm and supportive. Let's move back to seated, and we're going to come on to hands and knees. And once again, notice how our foundation has shifted. Knees right underneath hips, hands right underneath shoulders. And as we move forward, we're going to feel a bit of a crunch in the, I shouldn't say crunch, we're going to feel a bit of pressure in the wrists coming forward. And then as we move back, we feel a little bit of relief in the wrists and a little bit more weight coming down towards the hips. You can come all the way down towards child's pose or stop wherever it feels comfortable. But notice how your foundation has really shifted. Now it's on hands and knees. When you're right smack in the middle, it's equally balanced. Then as you come forward, it's way more onto the hands. And as you come back, it's way more onto the back of the body, the knees and maybe the feet. So come back to center nice and easy, noticing your foundation once again, nice and strong. Pull your belly muscles in just a little bit. And round up into your cat and see if that changes your foundation in any way. Are you pushing forward or back with your hands, forward or back with your knees? Either way is fine, just notice how it's going, and then drop the belly, come into a heavy cow, so exaggerate just a little bit, tilting the pelvis up, see how that feels your first cow of the day. And then back again through a couple more times on your own, pulling into your cat, and dropping into your cow. Once more on your own. I'll make this a little bit more moving, and a little more movement. We're going to widen the legs just a little bit. Sorry. We'll come up onto the knees. And now notice again how your foundation has changed. Your foundation is now your toes and your knees. You can do either flat-footed or tucked toes, whichever feels most comfortable to you. We'll bring our arms all the way up to the sky to our inhale. And on our exhale, we're going to fold back into child's pose. Notice along the way how you're pulling your belly in a little bit, reaching down, sitting back onto the heels. I like to flatten my feet here, but you can keep yours tucked if you like and come all the way down. You went from your knees as your main foundation to your knees and hands as your foundation and toes. We're going to come forward now, leaning forward with our soles, with our forearms on the ground. We're going to sneak ourselves up underneath that fence and lift up into our cow. Back to our 4-point foundation. Round the back nice and easy, tuck the chin. Come on back, all the way back down into your child's pose. Bring the hands behind you so that your foundation is truly now your forehead or the top of your head and your legs. And then round yourself up all the way to standing on the knees. All the way up using the back muscles, coming all the way up to a nice tall reach with the arms. Coming forward, sitting yourself back, leaning back into your child's pose. Use your belly muscles here for nice and slow. Forehead rests down to the ground. Where is your foundation now? Leaning forward, rolling forward, sliding forward. All the way up into your into your cow. Rounding the back into your cat, checking the chin, leaning way, way, way back, sitting back onto the heels. Bring the arms behind you so you're not using them to lift up. You're using your upper body, your core body, and lifting up nice and tall, rounding into your standing mountain on your knees. Then we're going to do one more time. We're going to slow the breath down just a little bit. So exhaling down as you come down, reaching a little bit slower, feeling that point where you feel your belly kind of contract and kick in sort of, and then come down and soften into your child's pose. On your next inhale, slide yourself forward. Totally okay if it takes more than one inhale. Lifting up into your cow. Rounding into your cat. Tucking the pelvis, tucking the chin, letting the head drop, reaching all the way back, feeling that stretch in the arms before you bring them behind you into restorative child's pose. And then roll yourself up nice and easy one more time onto the knees. And bring your hands onto the lower back with your palms facing in and your fingers facing downward. And open up your heart just a little bit, pushing forward, opening the front of the body now after you kind of open the back. Not a full camel, just a little opening of the heart. And coming back, bringing hands down onto the ground, bringing knees a little closer together so they're directly under the hips again. Tucking the toes and pushing up into your down dog. New foundation here, feet and hands. You can hinge forward a little bit to feel a little bit more in the hands. You can push back a little bit to feel a little bit more in the feet. And then find your happy medium right in between, wherever that is today. Feel free, this is our first down dog. Feel free to bend the knees a little bit, soften into that down dog. It doesn't have to look any specific way. On the inhale, we're going to come forward into a high plank. Hold it right there. Now keep the feet where they are. We're going to do a different up dog. So dropping the hips down, opening the shoulders a little bit, but not bringing the feet flipped onto the ground. Now we're going to come into that plank again, halfway there, just in between down dog and up dog. And then push back into your down dog again, nice and strong, nice and slow. Let the head hang. Let the body move out a little bit. If you want to wiggle it out a little bit, heel down towards the ground. One at a time. And then we'll hinge forward once again into our plank. Now we're going to drop the hips all the way down into our modified up dog. Push into plank again. Nice. Push the hips up, back into your down dog. Take a little pressure off the wrists, leaning back a little bit heavier onto the heels. We're going to go one more time. Pedal it out in any way that feels good. Maybe shake the head out. And hinge forward once again. Through plank and down into your up dog. Nice. Come to plank again. Strong in the arms. Push back into downward facing dog. Nice. Rest it out there for just a moment. Let's tiptoe our feet forward and come into our forward fold, our rag doll. Walking the hands back and the feet forward. However wide you like your feet today. Come into your forward fold without the use of your hands, so you can cross your arms or just let the arms dangle. And bring your awareness back into the foundation here. The outer edges of the feet at the ball of the foot and the heel at the back of the foot. Notice how you can use your hands here or not, whatever you like. You're just going to roll back and push back and forth just a little bit. So coming forward, a little bit more weight onto the ball of the foot, a little less in the heel. Coming back, a little bit more in the heel, a little bit less on the toes. Notice how your foundation is changing slightly, but it's still nice and strong at the base of the body. Rise up nice and easy to standing. And bring the arms up to the sky. And bring our hands into the heart. We're going to move our foundation to one leg. Either one. Remember, if it feels better, if it's hard on your hip, remember to just keep those toes down on the other foot. Totally okay. You're just putting the majority of weight on one side. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I'm sorry about the child abduction, but not here, so. Okay, looks like it's still recording. Amber alert. So, anyway, okay, back into tree pose. We'll say a little wish for that little kid, that little child who was abducted, and hope that all works out okay. Onto one foot. Other one can slide up if you like. Or keep it handy on the floor with your toes, whichever one you prefer. But the majority of your foundation here is on that standing leg. So see how it got much heavier into the mat. Left and right side of the ball of the foot and heel. Cracking ankle. Just being aware, just noticing here. Bring the other one down and take a moment maybe to walk it out. Paying attention to both sides of the body, the left and the right, how they feel different. And then moving on to the other side. Hands can be in any tree pose that you like. Doesn't have to be heart center. And moving to the other leg. Accepting where your wobbliness might be today. For whatever reason. Totally okay. Just exploring. Again, notice the outer edges of the feet. and the heel, pressing down firmly into the floor. Holding that whole body up, and then release it down, both feet down to the ground. And we're just going to do a little walk out here. We'll come into our chair pose, dropping down nice and easy. Arms can take a little break today if you want to bring them straight out in front. We're working more on that lower body today, so just paying more attention. And so it might help to hold yourself in a position that's a little more comfortable than the arms over the head chair pose. So feet wherever they are, they can be snug together, they can be apart with distance. Knees come right out over toes. And find your foundation. We're going to play just a little bit with this today, bringing the feet towards each other energetically, and then pushing them away from each other. And notice how that affects the muscles in the glutes and the quads. Bringing them in and out, and then settling down on your, in your neutral zone here. One more little inch coming down. Noticing your foundation again, nice and strong. When you're ready, come forward, release the legs. Bring the hands down to the earth, let the head hang. And notice how your foundation is shifted. Still in the same 2 feet, but the body weight is distributed differently. Roll yourself up nice and easy back into your mountain pose. Arms come all the way up to the sky. We can clasp them together with our 4 fingers together and the other ones folded. Drawing a line on the ceiling over to the right. Without folding forward too much. Opening up in the side body. Now go back to the feet, find your foundation. Find how your body has compensated for this much more weight out to the right side now. But still your body just goes with the flow. Come back to center and draw that line over to the other side. I'm going to make it a little harder. Then press the palms together. You can feel a little opening in between them. Lifting up nice and tall. We'll draw a line behind us. You can watch it with your gaze, or you can keep your head just right in between the upper arms. Leaning back gently, notice your foundation again. Lifting up nice and tall. Reaching forward out of the hips to a halfway lift, and then come all the way down. Don't be afraid to bend the knees, soften the knees here as you come down. Placing the hands down onto the ground, fingertips or hands, and just gently bend one heel and then the other. Lift one heel and then the other. Let's roll up. We're going to do that side to side one more time. Inhale, coming up. And then when you're ready, exhale, coming to the side. Hold here for a few breaths, maybe twist open just a tiny bit more, or reach with that left arm a little bit further towards the wall. On your next inhale, when you're ready, lift up. And exhale brings you over. And again, hold here where it's comfortable. And then stretch out just a tiny bit more. So opening a little bit more in the side body. Come on back to the center. Bring it back. Looking up or keeping the head in between the upper arms. Gentle back bend, stretching open the body. On your inhale, lift up to the sky. And on the exhale, come forward. Go through that halfway lift before you come all the way down to the ground. Release the hands and let the knees bend one after the other. And roll yourself back up to standing. We're going to work a little bit with Warrior One today in the sequence that I learned on foundations. And we'll see how it feels. So let's bring our right foot forward and move it out to the side just a little bit, so not in a straight line. And then left foot turns out to about a 45-degree angle. Perfect. We're going to gently take our hands and not move our hips overly so that we're really obsessed with bringing them forward, but we're just guiding them a little bit to come into a natural position. What I like to feel here is the balance between the back foot and the front foot. So not heavily on the back and not heavily on the front. That's how I know I'm kind of in my right pose. And actually I misspoke. We're not going to do warrior one. We're going to do pyramid pose. So bring the arms up to the sky. You can clasp them together, keep them up however you like it. And we're going to start folding forward. I like this way because my fingertips are kind of guiding the way, drawing that line. And I'm reaching out as well as over. As I start coming down, I feel a really strong tightness in my hamstring in the front leg. So I'm going to soften that knee so that it's not working way over what the back leg is doing. And I'm going to round down to the ground. You can unhinge the hands here. You can just sort of lean over, lengthen in that back. And maybe take a little twist here. So pushing the hips a little bit to the right, you're going to turn your head towards the left. Pushing them a little more to the left, you're going to turn your hips towards the right. How does this feel in your hips? Okay, all right. Now bring the arms back out. Keep that slight bend in the knee if you have it. Bring the arms back out to your pointer finger clasp, and then come to your halfway lift again. Push into the back foot, pushing it back just a little bit, leaning into the front as well, but equally on both feet. And now try lifting yourself up using your belly muscles in your back. Good. I know, I don't like it either. Come up to the sky. I'll make sure I tell the teacher that we didn't like it. Come forward. Come forward again, back to your halfway lift in your L shape or your right angle. Hold here for a moment. Now release. Here's where you can take a breath. Let the head hang nice and heavy. Let the back totally open up here. And then once again, bring the hands together. We're going to bring them out. So they're framing the head. And then lifting up slowly. All the way up to the sky. Good job. Bring the hands behind you. Let's give ourselves a clasp behind us to open up the shoulders, staying forward in your like pyramid base. And then letting go and noticing your foundation again. Let's bend into the front knee and come into a true warrior one. And wherever that's accessible to you today. Gently encourage the hips to twist to the right, but they don't have to be exactly forward facing. Wherever your body is today, lift the arms up to the sky and come into your beautiful warrior one. Open up the heart, drop the shoulders down the back, push equally into the back and the front foot. Nice breath here. Nice, and keeping the bend in the knee. We're going to just come forward and rest the hands down. Let's move the back foot to meet the front foot to meet the back foot, pedal it out. Take a little drop side to side if you like to exaggerate it. Let the head hang. Tiptoe the feet back up. And now we're going to place the left foot in front of the right. Widen it a little bit so your hips have room to come forward. You're straightening the legs, but trying not to lock them completely. And we're coming hands up to the sky. If you want to, cross the opposite thumb on top and keep your pointer finger pointing up towards the sky. As you come forward, gently reach out, find your halfway here. It's like a halfway lift. Notice if you need to soften in that front knee, totally okay. Still pressing into the back leg, lift all 10 toes. Just checking that you're not gripping your toes, and then come all the way forward. Down into your pyramid pose. You can release the hands, use them as support. Take a nice breath, take a nice stretch, feel the back of the left leg. Opening up, unclenching the toes. Bring the hands back together in that forefinger grip, and then come back up halfway. Reaching out, lengthening through the spine, lifting up, drawing that line onto the sky, lifting up slowly, pulling belly muscles in, making the whole body work. Let it go. Separate the arms, bring them back down to our sides. And then we'll make a nice smooth arc back up to the sky. Cross the fingers again, coming for number 2, reaching out nice and long. Halfway lift, hold your lift, push into your back foot a little bit more, then come down all the way towards the earth. Let the hands separate if you like, let the knee bend if you like. your forward fold, opening up the back. Hands come to that forearm, that forefinger again. And then lift up into your halfway lift. Push into the legs, pull into the belly, and lift up again, nice and long, out of the hips. Bring the hands out to the sides and all the way behind you. Palms facing in, fingers facing down, gentle opener. Coming back to center. Finding your foundation again. Come on down to the floor, bring the hands down lightly to touch. Scoop the left leg back to meet the right. Back into your down dog pose. Let the head drop. Roll the toes up. Roll the heels up. Stay in your down dog. Drop them over to the right. Option to just keep the hands and the sides of the feet on the floor, or you can lift into a side plank, you call it here. Notice wherever you are, where's your foundation now? Bring that hand down if you haven't lifted, and come back to your downward facing dog. Pedal it out into your neutral position again. Roll the heels over to the left. Wherever you are now, notice where your foundation is. Probably heavier on the left hand than the right. Just due to how our bodies are made, lift the right arm if you like. And notice once again your foundation. Just pay attention to where the floor is meeting your body. Bring your hand down. Come back into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out a bit. And then separate the knees. Bring the big toes to touch. And come back to a gentle child's pose. Notice the breath returning to normal. Where is your foundation now? Notice how sometimes the foundation doesn't have to hold you completely. Where you're using your muscles to hold yourself up as well. And sometimes they're just supporting you completely and you're melting down into them. And nothing is really exerting here. Walking the hands back, come up to a comfortable seat. That was a little hard, wasn't it? How do you feel on your belly today? You okay? All right. So we'll move into a little cobra. Again, still working with foundation here. So we're going to bring the body down, nice and easy to the belly. Just notice what parts of your body now are supporting each other. You still have a foundation. Even if it's the majority of your body, it's still your foundation, it's your contact with the earth. Maybe take a little break, bring the heels out let them flop open to the outside and bring the big toes together. To release into that sacral area. You can even wiggle it side to side to see if you can loosen up just a little in the low back. We'll start with our conventional cobra, bringing the hands right underneath the shoulders. Elbows up to the sky. We'll zip the legs together, tops of feet on the floor. And without using much of the hands at all, we're just going to lift up. So while the hands are out there, they're sort of part of our foundation, but they're not taking most of the weight. Our foundation now becomes our feet, tops of our feet, and our thighs and our pelvis. Lower it down nice and easy. Let the neck stretch a little bit here as you tuck the chin slightly and bring the forehead to the mat. And let's do another one of those, lifting up nice and easy once again. So fingers on the ground, but you don't have to use them for your foundation. Press the toenails into the ground, make them part of the foundation, and come on back nice and easy. All the way down to the earth. Let's separate the hands out a little bit more and now make them part of the foundation. So we're going to cupcake the hands, make them into little tents, fingertips on the ground. And we're going to switch our elbows forward now. Yep. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Nice opening for the front of the body. Zip the legs up again. Lift up, this time making the fingers part of the foundation. You'll go a little higher maybe because of the position of your arms. Just to where it's comfortable, come on down. Nice and easy. So we took some pressure out of the back. We put it into the fingers. Lifting up into your slightly higher cobra with your fingers out. And lower down again. I like this one. And then come one more time up to the sky with the top of your head. Notice your foundation. All the areas touching the earth. Does it feel like they have an equal load or an unequal load? And then come on down. Nice and easy. We'll bring our arms out to a T for a little shoulder stretch. So to reach out a little bit further than you think you can. Press the right shoulder down into the ground by rolling it slightly forward. Now use your left hand on the mat, right in line with your shoulder, and gently tip yourself over towards the right. So you're getting a stretch in the front of your shoulder and a contraction in the back of your shoulder. Stop where it doesn't feel good anymore. And just breathe a couple of times here. Where is that foundation now? It's really weird now. So hip, hand, arm, and leg, and one side of the foot. Maybe yours is different. Come on back through center, nice and easy. And we're going to go the opposite way. Bring the left arm out, bend the right arm, roll that left shoulder into the ground, and tip yourself open just a little bit like you're opening a book till you feel a beautiful stretch in the front shoulder and a nice tightening compression in the back of it. Hold it right there wherever it is. Going back through center, nice and easy. And find your neutral one more time. Hands can come and support the forehead in a crocodile pose. In crocodile, you have the option to turn the feet out towards the edges of the mat. And in this position, once again, find your foundation. As you relax into the floor, pretty much everything relaxed, I'd say. Bring your attention to the breath and how it's helping to stabilize your body. Breathing in, filling the body, feeling it press into the earth, and exhaling, squeezing it all out. Feeling it cave away from the earth a little bit. Back and forth in that constant flow. Let's bring our hands underneath the shoulders, push ourselves back nice and easy. We'll take a little child's pose as a little neutralizer here. And bring the knees out to the edges of the mat. And settle back down with the heels down over, the hips down over the heels. Back into your child's pose. Let's thread the needle while we're here, lifting the right arm up to the sky. And then bringing it underneath the left armpit, palm face up. As far through as you can, let the shoulder relax down onto the earth. And let the head come down as well. Reach the left arm out in front of us onto the mat, just nice and long for that opening stretch. And then you can reach it all the way up to the sky, fold it behind you if you like, and add on to your twist here just a little bit. Once again, where's your foundation now? What parts of the body are working and what parts of the body are relaxed or neutral? It may be off balance, off center, but it's not off balance. You're perfectly balanced here. Bring the arm up to the sky again. Bring it down in front of you. Unwind the right arm, lifting all the way up to the sky, opening wide again, leaning onto that left hip a little bit, and then bringing the arm down to the ground. Left arm reaches up this time towards the sky, opening up as high as you can. Bend the elbow, fold the arm underneath the right armpit, reach it through as far as you can, and let the head rest if that's accessible. And let the body rest down. Reach the arm all the way out in front of you, then up to the sky. This is the right one, and fold it behind you if you like. A little bit of an added twist here towards the sky. Where's your foundation? What's holding you up here? Bring it back all the way up to the sky, bring it down, palm down to the ground. Unwind the left arm, coming out, lifting up to the sky, and bringing it down, hands down to the ground. Let the forehead rest one more time, or the chin, whichever is most comfortable. Then lift up just a little bit, keep the forearms on the ground, and walk yourself over to the left. Gentle stretch, opening up in the right side. And coming back to center, over to the right. Let the forehead rest, let the shoulders soften. Back to the center as you're ready. Walk yourself up to a comfortable seat. We're going to bring our legs open a bit for a little straddle. And notice again, where is our foundation? So my hips aren't very open. Back's not too flexible. So I need to move my foundation forward just a little bit, rolling forward. And sometimes I do that with a little block behind me or just a rolled up blanket to keep it there, to keep my pelvis there. But just notice now, where is your foundation? What's holding you up here? Notice the difference in the distribution of the weight. Bring the arms all the way up to the sky. See how that changes things for you. And then reach out from the hips, just like we did in our pyramid series, coming forward as far as you can. You can round it all forward here if you like, or you can try and keep a rather straight back. This is totally up to you, what feels best in your body. Don't overdo the stretch in the back of the legs, soften in the knees to avoid that. Then reach up and out with the arms, lifting all the way up to the sky. Bring the hands behind you, palms face down, fingertips either way, and just lift up for a moment. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the heart, lift the hips up off the ground. Where is your foundation? Sit it back down again, nice and easy. I'm going to bring one leg in, one leg out. Fold the left leg in, and sole of the foot come to the right leg. I always say do either one, and then I miscue it. So coming over to the side to the long leg once again. We're going to walk ourselves down gently towards the long leg. Once you find your settling point here, it doesn't have to be your edge, just wherever you want to stop today, just stop and notice where the foundation is right now. So it's unequal, it's not symmetrical, but it's still sturdy. Reaching out nice and long towards that foot. Let the forehead drop here. Let everything go soft here, so you're rounding your back, letting the top of your head sink down, maybe releasing the arms. Using your hands on the leg, walk yourself up nice and tall, back to your seat, all the way up nice and tall. I'm going to bring our hands back, lean back into your straddle one more time. Come to your forward fold. This is our neutral in between our asymmetrical poses, and then come on back up and fold your right knee in. Sole of the foot presses against the thigh. Resettle your hips, turn over towards the long leg. Notice your foundation again as you start to pull forward, nice and easy. Reaching towards the toes, towards the ankle, not overreaching. Letting the back stretch nice and long. And then once you've had your nice lengthening stretch, now you're just going to let it round down with gravity. Notice how that changes your body. Your back is more rounded. Your head is heavy, not reaching out. Your arms are soft. Use your hands on the leg to walk yourself back up to a nice tall seated position. Bring the right leg out. Back into your straddle one more time. Come to your forward fold. See if anything has changed for you. Just reaching forward, not overdoing anything. And then rolling up tall, let your back stack here. You don't have to lift up in a straight line. Bring your hands behind you again. Open your heart. And lift your head up. You have the option to push the whole body up if you like. Notice where your foundation is. Or keep the sit bones on the ground and just squeeze the shoulders and move the heart up to the sky. Coming back to center nice and easy. We're going to walk the legs back gently. And we're going to come down onto our backs. Great. I'm gonna bring the legs in for a nice little hug. You can hold behind the legs or across the tops of the knees, give them a nice hug. And if you like, roll left and right. So you're actually lifting your tailbone up a little bit here for this back rounding, this little stretch. And bring the soles of the foot down onto the ground. Nice and close to the heels. And set up for bridge. Hands can come down to the ground, or they can, well, they will come down to the ground. And as you lift up, they can come underneath your leg and push a little bit into the hands and the arms. And now find your foundation here. Soles of the feet, toes aren't squished. Thighs pushing up. Arms may be part of your foundation here. Shoulders definitely are, and head. Release the hands and come down nice and easy with your next exhale, or beginning with your exhale, touching one vertebra at a time down onto the earth. Let's separate the feet just a little bit. And windshield wiper the legs left and right. Come back and do a second bridge, bringing the heels back towards the glutes. Pressing down into the whole foot, tilting the pelvis, lifting up to the sky. Option to clasp the hands underneath. Push a little bit harder this time in the whole leg and the sole of the foot. Press the shoulders down into the ground, the outer shoulders into the ground, shoulder blades come together. Hold here for another breath. And then unwind the hands if they're under there. And come on down, nice and easy, top to bottom. Till the whole back is resting comfortably onto the floor. Once it's there, we can swing the legs left and right again into windshield wipers. Or find another place that's nice and relaxing for you. Maybe soles of the feet together. Let the knees open up towards the edges of the mat. Maybe wiggle it a little bit if you like. Gently close them up by using the hands for a little help if you like. Or we're going to cross right leg over the left, just like you're crossing your legs. Bring the arms out to the side for a little bit of balance and drop the legs all the way over to the right. You have the option to keep the upper body neutral here or to turn the head and make it part of the twist. So knees going towards the right, head going towards the left. See what you can soften in this twist and see what part of the body you can kind of dump a little weight into for your foundation. So find your part of the body that's feeling tight right now. Maybe your shoulders are feeling like they're active here, really active, and see if you can soften it and just come into a softer position or a softer version of this twist. Let's bring the head back to central, to neutral, and bring the legs up, not uncrossing them yet. We're just going to roll into the other side, just to kind of even things out. So roll them over to the left and drop the head to the right, because both of these I think are worthy stretches. Pull the belly in as you bring the legs back up. And unwind nice and easy. And we're going to cross left over right. Now we're going to drop over to the left first. Doesn't really matter. Roll your head to the right. And let the shoulders soften into the earth. What parts of your body are now holding you? Well, obviously the earth is holding you, but what parts are meeting with the earth to hold you? When you're ready, bring it back up. Pull the belly in to lift across the body and drop over to the right. Looking over the left shoulder is optional here. If you like to add it to your twist, great. If not, if it bothers your neck, just keep it up to the sky. Sometimes it bothers mine, sometimes it doesn't. Lift it back to center, nice and easy. Head comes back to center as well. We're going to unwind the legs, and we're going to bring them back in for a nice little neutral stretch, neutralizing that left and right. Maybe you rock a little bit side to side, maybe you prefer to keep it still. Let's let the left leg rest down onto the floor and straighten the right leg up ahead. Keep a bend in the left knee, and if you like, you can make it a big bend in the left knee. So whatever feels more stabilizing to you today, go ahead and take that. It can be down, it can be bent halfway, it can be bent all the way. We're going to work on this extended leg for a moment, so you want your focus to be there. Holding on wherever feels comfortable, let's flex the toes down towards the body. Keep a soft knee, slightly soft knee, good. And then point away from you. Flex it down and point away. Now bring it to neutral. Bring the knee in, hold on behind the knee here. Bring the knee in, giving it a nice little stretch here. Pressing into the belly, making contact. And then easing it away towards the wall. Your foot's coming towards the wall. So bringing in, pressing the air out of your lungs, coming out and extending. Once more coming in and once more coming out. Now release it. Drop the left knee out if you do have it bent and make some nice circles with the right leg, the right hip. Picture that hip moving in there nice and smooth with all that fluid kind of without any I can't think of the word, any obstacles, I guess, going the opposite direction. You're bringing it up to the sky, nice and tall, hip flex, foot flexes, drop it out to the right as far as you can. Where is your foundation? Bring it back, belly muscles in, cross it over to the left, just as far as is comfortable. Where is our foundation again? Coming back to center and folding it down next to the other one. Left leg lifts nice and tall. Option to put the right leg wherever it feels comfortable. Wrap your hands around the leg wherever it meets. Give it a nice rotation in the foot. And then come to your hard flex and your point away. Flexing and pointing. Let it go soft. Hold on to the back of the knee. Pull it in. And then release it out. Pulling in, pulling as far as you can, and release it out. One more time coming in, building up that fluid in the hip, and coming out. Let go with the hand. Let the leg drop naturally and make some nice circles with this hip. Wherever this hip wants to go is perfect. Maybe it's different from the other one, that's okay. Go the other way. As wide as feels good in your hip. Good, and back in for a hug. Straighten the leg, drop it out to the left. As far as is comfortable for you. Find your foundation here, what's touching the earth. Bring it up, use the belly muscles, and cross over to the other side. Come on back to center. And let the leg come down. Any way you like. Both legs relax out, maybe bounce them out a little bit. Maybe bend the knees, do a little twist left and right with your windshield wipers. Take a moment to ask your body what it needs before it relaxes. Maybe a little more arm stretch, maybe a lengthening stretch, maybe a twist. Whatever it is, just allow your body to make yourself go into that movement. Don't even think about it. Let your body move however it wants to. Then we'll find our favorite position for Shavasana. If you like to do legs up the wall, that's fine too. It's kind of a nice time to do that with the low back.
What about it? Is that just, yeah, I want that under my,
Under your butt?
yeah.
Sure.
That's how.
You can do that, sure, yeah. It's like supported bridge, right? So, yeah, perfect. Excellent. Bring your body into a relaxed position. And once again, notice the, trying to see my time, but it's okay. Once again, notice where the balance is in your body and where the foundation is, what's holding you to the earth right now. And how does it feel? Probably it's not an efforting hold, it's probably an effortless hold, but it's still your foundation and your connection with the earth. Begin to breathe normally, naturally, and notice your breath. Just paying attention to it as it moves from our exertion to our relaxation. Soften the muscles of the body, the muscles of the face, from the tiniest muscles to the biggest ones. Don't be afraid to move at all during our Savasana. Sometimes the body settles more and you can get a little bit more out of it. Sometimes you notice something's uncomfortable and you need to move. That's totally okay. We're going to keep focusing on the foundation today, but we're through our meditation, but we're going to make it a little bit more less literal. So the foundation that we need in order to lead a fulfilling life is that bottom foundation. It's the biggest of all the pieces. It holds everything together. And without it, we can really kind of fall apart or not get to the higher levels. So find some gratitude right now for the safety of the world that we live in. We consider it sometimes a dangerous world and a frightening world and all that, but as far as physically, our risk of coming home safe each day is pretty good, pretty low. Find some gratitude for our safety, our physical safety, our emotional safety, being in a safe home, a safe relationship, a safe life with friends and family. The security that we have, the safety and security of food on the table, of access to food, of access to our health care, access to therapy of any kind, whether it's friends, whether it's medical. Our access to fresh water, clean water to drink. All of those create our stabilization. And while we're grateful and thankful for ours, we'll also send a wish out to people in the world right now who don't have all of those safeties right in place. We'll send them a wish of loving kindness. May be safe and free from inner and outer harm. May be happy, content, and peaceful. May be healthy in your mind, your body, and your spirit. May your actions benefit the beings on the planet. Bring your attention back to your breath. Back to the filling and emptying of the body. To the space of inhalation, where it comes into the body, where it fills the body, and to the space of exhalation, where it completely leaves the body. Notice the pace of your breath, the rhythm of your breath, the depth, the quality. And keeping it exactly as it feels just right, begin to bring your attention to the fingers and the toes. At the far ends of the body, give them a little wiggle, a little stretch, whatever feels right to you, whatever's calling to you is perfect. Then maybe put that movement into the ankles and the wrists, maybe in one direction and then the other. Starting to connect the whole body, bring that movement into the arms and the legs in any way that feels right to you. Feel everything connected into the torso. And you'll bring the knees back into the chest if you like, for a little hug if that's what calls to you. And then rolling over onto one side or the other. And using your bottom arm as your pillow. Into a nice soft seed pose. So the cool thing for me about seeds is that sometimes they're growing underneath the earth, even in the coldest times. They're a little hibernation getting ready to come out and do something awesome in the spring. It's no less work though underneath the ground. So even as we see the days coming to grayness and cold winds and all that, not our normal sunshine day, we can remember that there's a lot happening underneath the earth, a lot happening underneath the surface, with us and with nature. I'm going to sneeze any minute now, but begin to roll yourself a little bit forward, stretching out the legs, pushing yourself up into a comfortable seat. Once again, final contemplation on our foundation, our sit bones, our legs, our body tall to the sky. Plenty to hold us up, support us. We'll bring our hands into heart center and tap gently on the sternum, awakening and strengthening our immune system, keeping us strong, healthy, vibrant. We'll bring the hands to our forehead as a reminder to have peaceful thoughts, bring peace into our thoughts. To our lips to remind us to speak words of peace. And to our heart, a reminder to spread peace wherever we go. Thank you for practicing with me this morning. It's really fun, even the hard part. Peace, peace, peace. Om Shanti Shanti. Thank you. It's kind of fun. Little different things with a theme, which I don't always do.
Yeah, that was interesting.